Hey everybody, it's Chris with Life 180, and for this video, I want to do a review of Chapter 5 of the And Asset, The Power of Unhindered Control. Now, I'm going to get into this. I got the book here. I'm going to look down, just kind of keep my flow here going. But ultimately, here's the bottom line. This is one of the most important concepts to grasp in the entire book. The power of controlling your money is so important. So many people talk about trying to chase returns. And the reality is financial structure is super important. It's probably the most important element of your financial plan. And when you look at your structure of your financial plan, control has to be at the centerpiece for that. And when you put your money into qualified accounts or other investments, typically what happens is you lose control of that money. And so one of the reasons when we talk about utilizing a whole life insurance policy as the and asset is because you have liquidity, use, and control of that money, right? So why is control so important? Because listen, if you've watched my Life 180 pyramid talk, you understand that when you structure your money so you have, structure your financial life so you have money in an account that's liquid, usable, controllable, that means you're setting yourself up for opportunity, you're setting yourself up for protection against downswings in the economy. And the challenge is, when people do things the way that the average American is doing them, you're investing, you're putting your money into 401ks, into IRAs, into Roth IRAs, into other taxable investments. And when you're putting your money at risk, a lot of people think that they're saving money because they're saving for their future, they're saving for retirement. But the reality is they're not really saving, they're investing for their future. And when you invest too soon, or you invest before you have enough savings, that's guaranteed that you can really experience uninterrupted compounding, then if you're investing too soon before you can actually do that, you're going to have a lot of issues. And so this chapter 5 in the book, actually talks about the power of control, about compounding being extremely important. And the reality is when you set yourself up to have your money in an and asset, and you allow that money to compound uninterruptedly, and you have it be the centerpiece of your whole financial system, your whole financial world, that puts you in a position where you can be prepared for more opportunities and be protected against downswings in the economy. When you are protected, or you're prepared for more opportunities, that's where great returns come from. Because I'm a big believer, you can never achieve wealth without taking on risk, right? So I know a lot of people think that I don't like to take risk. I like to take more risk probably than most people would ever be comfortable with. However, I think how you take that risk is essential, and having your money in an account and being able to access that money during hard times to protect yourself, during hard times to take advantage of opportunity when other people are having to make poor financial decisions because the economy is struggling, and because, let's face it, if they structured their financial lives inappropriately, they're going to have to make poor decisions, and that's going to drive asset prices down. If you haven't watched my Life 180 pyramid talk yet, I would 100% recommend everybody go watch that video, because it is one of the most important financial concepts to understand when it comes to how to set your life up financially. So anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into this. So in here, what Caleb does is he talks about mastering control over the big 9. And so I'm going to go through these 9 really quickly. And so the idea, number 1 out of the big 9, is keep your money safe. Now, keep your money safe. What does that mean? One of the biggest things that I can't stand in the financial industry is they say the younger you are, the more risk you can take. Well, I'm here to tell you, the younger you are, the less risk you have to take, because risk equals a chance of loss, and loss equals interrupting compounding, right? So you want to make sure that you have your money in a safe place that you can access, and he goes into great detail in it, but that is a huge concept to understand. Number 2 out of the 9 is keep your money liquid. You need to make sure liquid use and control your money. Liquidity is important. You need to make sure that when you need to tap into it, you have that money liquid. There are no fees to access it. There are no penalties. There are no taxes, anything of that nature. Your money has to be liquid in an account that you can utilize. You need your money to be leverageable. It's one of the biggest things about the and asset. People think of it being an and or, either or conversation, right? It's not an either or conversation. We call it the and asset for a reason, because you can leverage your and asset, you can leverage it. If you look at it as a banking alternative, you can leverage that guaranteed liquid account to get involved in other investments like real estate or business, where you can actually take on risk. And that's where leverage is, and that's what the financial system is all about. So it's phenomenal because you can use it as a collateralized account to be able to have opportunity in other areas. It's amazing. Keep your money private is number 4. Keep your money private. So keeping your money private basically means you're protected. You know, we live in a very litigious world, right, where people are wanting to sue for every reason here and there. If you run a business, you understand that sometimes you have your money at risk. If you're a high net worth person, you want to make sure you keep a certain percentage of your money in a place that's protected against creditors and lawsuits and all that stuff. And in most states, life insurance pulls that off for you. Protects your money from taxes. Well, here's the deal. I would say that we live in a world where we've been living in an all-time kind of low tax rate environment. You know, people like to complain about taxes, but if you look at history, we're living in a low tax rate environment, going all the way back to like the early 1910s, in that range. Now, the federal tax, when they first created it, was never supposed to go above, I think it was like 4 or 7%. It was never supposed to go any higher than that. And then, you know how that goes. Give the government a little and they're going to take everything they can get. And so this, though, when your money goes into a whole life policy, it goes in post-tax, it grows tax-free, tax-deferred, and you can access it tax-free through policy loans, right? Now, it's not always tax-free. You can't withdraw it completely tax-free. You know, there are different things you need to look at as far as how you access it, but that's the power of leveraging policy loans, is that you can access your money tax-free. Super powerful stuff. And if you are in my camp and you believe that taxes have nowhere to go but up, because let's face it, our national debt is at an all-time high at almost $30 trillion. We have $150 trillion of unfunded liabilities. Our national deficit, our budget deficit, is over $3.5 trillion. Like, things are just getting uglier and uglier. We're printing money. Inflation is an issue at this time. We have no idea what's really going to happen. And so the only way to make up for this stuff is for the government to raise taxes. And, you know, so why would you want to put your money in a tax deferred account? Because remember, a tax deferral, people think they're getting a tax break. No, you're getting a tax break today when you do that. You're going to get, but you are going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to pay taxes. So the government, you think they're stupid? Listen, we're $28 trillion in debt. The government has about $26 trillion in qualified accounts in the country. So what does that mean? That means they can raise the amount of taxes that they have for all these people who are putting their money in qualified accounts, kicking the can down the road, deferring taxes in a low tax rate environment. The government can raise taxes at any point in time. You have no control. That comes back to the control, right? So you want to protect your money from fees. A lot of people think that there are a lot of fees in life insurance, but the reality is they're not. You can access it tax-free, you can access it fee-free, penalty-free. You can, you know, when you look at the fees inside of a whole life policy, people also think that, wow, it's expensive because insurance charges and fees, admin costs, all that stuff. Guess what? If you compare the cost of insurance to managed money accounts over a 30 or 40 year period, you're going to find that the fees inside of a managed money account in your investments are far higher than a life insurance policy. Number 7, protect your money from inflation. You know, a lot of people, if they want the safety and the liquidity of money, they put it in a bank account, they put it in a CD, they put it in some kind of fixed guaranteed vehicle. The challenge is these days, inflation the other day hit 4.2%. But so let's just say target inflation is 2%. Well, guess what? In a bank account right now, in a savings account, you can't get over 0.1%. So if you were to take $1 million, I know most people don't have $1 million, but I actually just got off the phone with a guy that had $1 million sitting in a bank account. He's freaking out because inflation hit 4.2%, and he's like, I'm losing money to inflation every single day because I'm not getting a return. I need to put my money into an account that will guarantee the same safety and liquidity that my bank account will give me, but I want a long-term rate of return to be able to beat inflation and protect me from loss to inflation risk, right? That's a big deal. Number 8, protect your money from restrictions and compulsions. Now, there are a lot of restrictions that go into accounts. You want to put a certain amount of money in. They restrict you from being able to put in as much as you want to be able to put in. It's very limited as far as you can put as much money into a whole life insurance contract as you can ultimately afford typically. There obviously is life insurance. You have to qualify for the life insurance, but as a rule of thumb, you can typically qualify for enough life insurance as long as you're doing things ethically and morally, like when it comes to your business, to be able to jam enough money into the policy and have cash growth that's going to match the needs of your life. So that's the good thing. Compulsions, like we're human, right? We all have compulsions, and when you save your money in here, it's liquid like a savings account, but it's not as liquid as a savings account. Whereas you may be able to go to your bank and get money for an impulse purchase. It's a little harder to get your money out of the life insurance contract. It will take you, let's say, 72 to 100 hours, maybe like 3 to 5 days, typically, to get your money from the life insurance company to be able to access it to buy something. If you have a real estate transaction, if you wanted to buy a car or do something like that, that's great. But it forces you to be a little more intentional. It lets you have a little bit of a cool off period, and it doesn't allow you to be as compulsive with your money. So I think that's really important. So number 9 is protecting human life value, right? I always like to talk about life insurance as a self-completing savings vehicle, right? If I'm saving right now, I could save my money in a bank account. I could save it in investments. I could save it in anywhere, ultimately that I wanted. And let's say the goal of me saving is to save for retirement, to save for opportunity, to save for emergency, to save for my kids' college, to save for all these different things. Well, I could save in all those areas, but at the end of the day, I still have my wife, I have my 3 kids, I still have my goals and my objectives that I want to complete for them, right? And so if I am just doing that and something catastrophic happens to me, if I get into a car accident, if I get into a plane crash, if I end up getting cancer somehow or something of that nature, this is a self-completing plan, making sure, I always tell people, life insurance is the only financial vehicle alive that is going to make sure that what you want to happen will happen when you want it to happen, whether or not you're here to see it. And so the thing I like about this, taking the human life value into perspective, is, it's going to make sure that when I'm saving for my kids' college, if I use an and asset, even if I pass away 3 years into it, 4 years into it, 5 years into it, I can make it so my objectives of what I'm looking to save for are going to be completed. Once again, no other vehicle can do for you what life insurance can do. And so I think that's important. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, think about it this way. Life insurance is just a tool, right? And so just like a golf club, I always talk about the club versus swing, and the idea of, like, if I gave you a chance to go play at the Masters, what are you going to use? What are you going to choose? The ability of Phil Mickelson, or the ability or the best club in the world, let's say, right? You're going to choose the ability every single time, right? Because it's not the club that makes the difference. It's the ability, it's the swing, it's the talent, right? So what we're talking about is using these strategies, right? Is super important. Using and understanding these concepts and these the big 9 here, so to speak. When you really think about it logically, life insurance is the only thing that can pull this off for you. The and asset, it's got to be a properly structured whole life insurance policy. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people say that it can be index universal life, but I'm going to tell you it cannot be index universal life, because index universal life doesn't meet all 9 of these needs. And that is just the bottom line. And so what I want to say is, like, this chapter in this book, it's not very long. I think it's like literally 10 pages or something like that. It is one of the most powerful reads, I think, for people to just read over and over and over and really understand these big 9. Because when you understand this big 9 and you internalize them, I think what you're going to realize is, like, holy smokes, I need one of these things. I need to get it in place. And it's not going to be a question if I need to. It's going to be a question, how fast can I do this? And so anyway, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out, comment in the sections below. I'm happy to engage with you on any level. You can also set up an appointment with me, have a conversation about an and asset, have a conversation as a life insurance agent about how you can get involved with this. And if you want to get a free book, if you're somebody who's looking at getting an and asset in place for your own life, or if you're an agent looking to take advantage of this, we actually have launched an and asset endorsement program, and where we're training agents and we're getting into this. So if you're somebody who's going to be buying one, you want to make sure that you work with an and asset endorsed agent, and we're working on that program right now. You can actually go down below, set up a time to talk with me. I'm not licensed, I can't sell you anything, but I can connect you with an and asset endorsed agent. It is I'm telling you right now, you need to get this book if you haven't. I'll also include the link below to get a free copy of this book. Go to myeverydaywealth.com/book, and I'll put the link down below. But I hope that helps. I hope you found value in this. If you did, please smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell. That way you get notified every single time I launch a new video and I complete this series. And anyway, hope this finds you well. Have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.